Hello, I'm Rowan, and today I am coming to you from inside of Vnyan so I can show you the drone camera move cam. This is a variation on the orbit cam that uses the cosines and sines of the angles just like the orbit cam, but instead of setting it to rotate around me, it actually allows you to move around in a world like the one that I'm sitting in. So I originally got the camera stuff from the GitHub repository, which we'll put up here somewhere with credit to the original scripter who did that. And I found that it had a limitation, and I didn't like that limitation, which was that you couldn't move where you were looking. Your maneuvers were pretty strictly limited. I mean, you could move diagonally and all that, but where you were going wasn't where you were facing. And I kind of wanted that for a drone cam. So I've been trying to do that myself, make my own version of a drone cam. And this is what I have. The scripting over here is all about using sines and cosines and angles to extract an XYZ. So that's a polar to Cartesian coordinate conversion. And yeah, you can see the coding here. And let's see if I can bring it up a little bit closer for you. And I will eventually put this stuff where you can get to it if people want it. And long and the short of it is that it's very complicated just doing this level of coding. And I have found that there are issues which it's going to take a whole lot more coding on my part to make them go away. And instead of just talking about all the boxes here and what they do, I'm going to show you the drone cam that I can work with. So now we've gotten rid of all that stuff, and here we are with the drone cam. I am moving around with the sticks on the gamepad to rotate and move forward and move back. And the first thing that you have to know about using gamepads for movement is that unless you have a brand new gamepad, you're basically going to be at the mercy of the fact that you have probably gamed on it, and you probably have done things. You've probably worn out the sticks to the point where little twitches cause twinges, and you can't make it go in any one direction without little flickers in other directions. And that's really annoying when you want to have a nice steady camera to move around. You see, and the solutions to those are kind of painful. You can either create dead zones so that when you wiggle a little bit it doesn't go anywhere, or you can decide to not use the gamepads, right, or to not use the sticks, and instead to use the D-pads and the number and the 4 buttons and the paddles. But the game sticks are really kind of critical because they give you the most analog and adjustable kind of motion, right? And if you don't use those, it gets very hard to make something like this happen here. And yeah, so it's frustrating because obviously your gamepad is not a very good camera controller. It is a gamepad, and it's there to move you around in first person, kind of like what we're doing here. But well, if you play games like Call of Duty or all these other first-person shooters, you kind of have a preference for how to make things move. And the problem is that it's a lot of coding to make this happen. I mean, what I'm doing here is very basic and simple. But if I really wanted things to move like an actual drone, then there would be things like inertia, which there isn't right now. This is just, right now, it's as perfect a camera movement as I can make using analog sticks that are very much more suited to twitchy combat and have been, I guess, what you could say that I guess you could say that these sticks have been really worn out. And yeah, so here we are. We're mostly just moving with the analog sticks. And my left stick I've limited to just front and back motion because that in Call of Duty was the stick that I used for a lot of motion, and it ended up being very worn out. The right stick I'm using for my pitch up and down. You can see there's some wandering in here also, and my rotation left and right. And of course, because they're together, I can do these little sweeping up and downs. And if I add a little back on the left game stick, then we get these nice curving rotations, and then we get lost in what we're trying to do. And that's the gamepad motion using the sticks. Now, I've also got a sliding motion here, which is being set up with my shoulder triggers, not my triggers, with my shoulder buttons, and that's pretty smooth. Now, again, the problem is that as a camera controller, you want it to stop exactly like it's doing here, unless you wanted to have some kind of an effect, like, you know, a drone camera effect, where you would end up sliding a little bit more, and you'd have some twitchy. That's the one thing I haven't put in. I have not put in the roll. So, you know, on a drone, as you push left and right, you would get some wind resistance, and you'd get kind of a little wobble that would happen as you stop. Now, that's, again, it's because we're really trying to use this as a camera, not as a drone. So it's really annoying because when you're a perfectionist and you have two different goals, they tend to conflict with each other, and you really can't end up getting a perfect solution to both of the problems with one set of coding. Yeah, so again, so sideways sliding, then I have up-down sliding set on the D-pad, and the triggers aren't doing anything right now. I guess I could set those to do roll. But yeah, it is nice being able to explore this world here, and it's also nice being able to change my pitch and to move where the pitch is, or to change my angle and move where the angle is, forward and back. So here we are. I know, it seems really slow, but again, the main purpose of this camera, of this drone, quote unquote, is to be able to move the camera around to where I want to film from, as opposed to, having a nice thrilling experience zipping around in this world. We're in a really dark corner here. Now, the only other problem with these cameras, other than all the ones I've already pointed out, well, there's a couple of them. The first problem is that it's really complicated making motion happen because honestly, it's not natural. It really isn't. And it is a very much learned skill to be able to control a drone. Oh, hello, what happened there? That's because we actually went into the wall, which is kind of problematic. It'd be nice if these things were solid objects, but I don't know if you can program that. And now you see that we've actually gone below the surface. So let's come back up here with our elevator and do some rotation and pull back at the same time we rotate. And I'm here somewhere. Oops, we've gone through another wall. The other issue is that these things can be very disorientating. I mean, it's nice because here we are, we have all this scenery, but if you have too much scenery, you get lost very easily because you have no real sense of where you're going. And then the opposite problem is when there is no scenery at all. That can be a big problem because again, you have very few bits of input. You've only got your eyes. There's no wind. There's no sense of sound or anything like that that's going to guide you back to your home location. You just have to know where you're going, and that again is why this camera is so slow. So let's take a look and see what this is going to be like if we end up out in the wilds. So there's this rocky edge to this world. And now look at what we have here. Well, we have a little bit of earth still. We're going to move out here, and believe it or not, we're still pushing forward, but we have no sense of motion. If we spin, we have a sense of motion, but how many degrees have we gone? Can you tell? Do you see any shadows to tell you where we're at? No, we don't. And oh, the clouds are moving. That's great. And we're rotating. And we're rotating. Have we gone far enough yet? Let's look down. I'm looking down. Still looking down. And I'm still looking down. I think we've gone a really long distance here. And now, how far down are we looking? Are we rotating still? I think we're still rotating. I can't tell. I really can't tell. I think we're rotating. We are rotating, right? I am pushing the right button. I think I'm pushing the right button. Oh crap. Maybe I'm pushing the wrong button. Oh, hey, there's the horizon again. Well, the fuzzy thing that could be a horizon. Now all the clouds are upside down. Yes, we have not made one 360-degree flip yet. But I can tell you that we are nowhere near, or at least it feels like we're nowhere near, anything resembling a landmass. We are lost in the void. And right now we're just trying to find up and down. think we might have found our up and down. Okay, we got some clouds there. Oh, hey, we found land. Oh, wow. Isn't that amazing? Look at how close we were. And yet we felt, well, I felt completely lost. I felt like I was lost at sea, but I had no water and no sky. I only had sky, actually. Now we're backing out, away. See, when you have no landmarks, it becomes kind of a big, painful thing where all you can do is look at what you got and slowly rotate till you find some reference, something to show you where you're at. Yeah, so that's the problem with using a gamepad and a camera like this. You gotta make it slow, because if you don't make it slow, then it becomes jerky when you try to do camera work with your avatar. But if you make it slow, then moving around out here at a distance becomes a big pain. I mean, it's to the point where you want to have a button to change your speed from slow speed to fast speed. But then I'm going to tell you, when you're lost and you start spinning around, you just start getting vertigo. Being out in the middle of nowhere, not seeing anything. I mean, sometimes you can just be, like I told you, you can just be sitting here stuck behind a bush. Literally stuck behind a bush going, where am I? What the heck? Where is my center? Where's that location that I know about? All these trees look exactly the same. Oh my, I am lost in the woods. Yeah, it's very easy to do that. Okay, so the critical thing that we had to do with our coding was make sure that when we move in a straight line, that the middle actually is where we're going. See, that's pretty good there. Now I'm going to go aim at something. Oops, I'm very low again. Okay, let's climb up really high. How high are we? Not very high. We're going to do both forward motion and pitch up and elevation. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to point down at those mushrooms. Where did they go? Okay, now we got to go backwards some. There they are. I'm going to put them in where I think is the middle of the screen. That's about right. Now I'm going to back up. And as you can see, they're staying right in the middle of the screen. You think this is normal and simple, right? But you have no idea how much headache it was figuring out the motion limiter so that when you're at an angle and you're moving, you don't end up sliding forward when you're at a steep angle. See, if I had not done this properly, I'm going to move forward here for a bit here. Come on, let's move forward. And that might be enough. Still have not moved forward enough. Now I'm pointing pretty down, and I'm going to use the elevator. Doesn't move much. Definitely does not move much. Because it's not supposed to. It's only supposed to go up and down. And now that we're at a 90-degree angle, it's not going to move. All right, my slide still works because it's supposed to work here. Now I'm going to push forward on my stick, and you're going to see that we're coming straight down, and there's like a little kind of a blank spot just above this tiny blue or light green dot, and yep, that's where we went. Now, without the limiter, if I try to do a plunge like this, I would have ended up sliding up screen instead of just plunging straight down. And that's kind of why all that scripting is there, to make it so that our motions don't get sloppy. Let's see, how close can we get to the side of my head? I think we're gonna hit me in about the... no. There we go. Voila! Yes, that took a lot of freaking adjustments. And slide. Now, this camera is not very good about doing that rotate around thing, because everything here is set up for being able to do general placement. But that's how this particular camera works. Gotta get all the... See, it's just not intuitive. Just not intuitive. And part of the problem is, again, because a gamepad is there to play games, and it takes a long time of playing a game before you get the controls ingrained in your head. Now, if there was just one set of controls, that would be easier to learn this. But I don't think it's going to be possible, because different kinds of cameras are going to require different kinds of controllers. Just because if I try to use a controller that's set more for, flying around at high speeds and whipping around curves, it's going to really suck when I'm trying to be in close like this. And if I use the wrong controls on that high-speed camera, then it's going to be really jerky, and we don't want that. And again, it's a different set of controls. You don't want to use triggers on something that you want to have a smooth acceleration or deceleration. You want to use the game sticks. But like I said, the game sticks are sloppy by design. They're supposed to be able to go and go in all sorts of different directions, right? But if you want a very particular pan angle or a particular rotation, then you're going to be kind of SOL if you're trying to use a game stick to get that happening, because there's always some slop. It's not like here, I'm just trying to get a nice horizontal rotation, but the fact that number one, I'm not on a true horizontal, I'm kind of at an angle, and number two, the fact that if I try to do this, there's always some twitch in your thumb. Your thumb wants to go in different directions, and being able to program your thumb to run in perfect lines is antithetical. You really see, this is happening because I'm using the slider. I can slide back and forth, but if I try to rotate, it is much harder to keep that vertical out of there. The solution would be to have multiple game sticks, like 4 of them, but then that'd be completely wrong and it wouldn't come in a gamepad. So until I have a piece of hardware that's specifically designed for virtual cameras, which sounds kind of expensive, I don't think I'm going to be able to use this for everything I want to. And yeah, so that's pretty much the issue. It's a fun toy, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do dynamic work using a gamepad. So that's that. If you think that there's some other solution, I welcome the comments, so please leave a comment. And of course, if you like this video, like and subscribe, do all those things. Just make it so that we can share more of these with more people. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed wandering around this world with me and hearing me jibber jabber about the technical difficulties of using a gamepad for a camera controller. And I hope that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you're having a great time, and I hope to see you again real soon. Bye!